They didn't just cancel Johnny Depp. They straight up tossed him out back and pretended he'd never been there in the first place. It was like Hollywood did some kind of magic trick. Studios vanished. Franchises erased his name overnight. And the same industry that once drooled all over him, poof, gone nothing, radio silence. Honestly, witnessing the whole mess unfold in real time was almost surreal. This is the guy who basically printed money for Disney. Captain Jack Sparrow wasn't just a role. It was a phenomenon. Suddenly, Depp's out here and can't even get Starbucks, let alone a callback, for literal years. But here's where it gets messy. Nobody really stops and asks, what the hell do you do when the biggest, most powerful machine in entertainment decides you're done? Most people would just quietly disappear. Fade to black, roll credits, duck out the back door. But Johnny? Nah, he wasn't having that. The thing that really got me? It wasn't some kind of grand, over-the-top Hollywood moment. It was a total left-field move he pulled next that nobody, not even his most devoted fans, saw coming. And before we wander down this rabbit hole, tell me, did you actually believe his career was dead? Be real. I want to know how many folks out there actually thought that was the end of the story. If you watched all that trial drama in 2022, what did you think then? And how do you feel about it now? That shift says more than anything I could ever write. So, let's rewind to when this whole thing fell apart. 2016, suddenly, darkness. Amber Heard files for divorce and chucks enough allegations to torch his entire reputation basically overnight. Studios? Not even a pause. Nobody waited for evidence. Disney didn't blink. They just pulled him out of the Pirates franchise like, thanks for everything. Now don't let the door hit you. Warner Brothers did the same with Fantastic Beasts. And he was already on the poster. The message was basically, hey man, good luck elsewhere but not with us. No one stood up for him. His name? Quietly deleted. Projects? Gone. Calls? Dead. No hesitation. He was made persona non grata, and it happened faster than a TikTok trend, and with even less remorse. But look, I'm not here to break down all the messy courtroom drama. That's another 3 hours nobody wants to relive. I care about what happened later, because that's the good stuff nobody paid attention to. 2022. The trial that ate the internet goes live, like cameras in the courtroom, pop your popcorn live. Millions watching, every detail chewed over by TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. Depp's out here suing Heard for a $50 mill. As the days went on, people started rethinking the story. His side was calm, collected, almost boring, if you ask me, but the evidence was there. A lot of people who were ready to cancel him years ago actually began shifting in the other direction right in front of our faces. Then he won $10 million in compensatory damages. The web basically exploded. I remember seeing everyone collectively glitch, like, wait, did we just watch Johnny Depp win? Wasn't this over years ago? The jury basically handed him his reputation back. Priceless, honestly. But beyond Depp, here's the bigger plot twist. The way people deal with celebrity messes changed after this. Pre-2022, the drill was easy. Scandal breaks out, people jump online, wreck someone's life, then move on. This time, it was actually hard to look away. People didn't just read a dramatic headline and rush to judgment. They tuned into trial streams, analyzed courtroom footage, and changed their minds because, shocker, they finally had context. That's why the verdict smacked so hard. For once, public opinion wasn't manufactured in a studio boardroom or bought by a tabloid. But okay, here's where everyone missed the mark. Hollywood didn't come crawling back. Not immediately. You'd think after all that endless public coverage, all those Justice for Johnny hashtags, the phone would be blowing up. Didn't happen. To me, that says everything. It's less about guilt and more about image, risk, and who looks good on a movie poster. Suit and tie folks were still nervous about Depp. So what's he do? He packs up and goes to France. Literally. That right there's all you need to know about how much Hollywood iced him out, and how little he cared about waiting on their apology. A French director, Maywin, hits him up to play King Louis XV in Jeanne du Barry. No American studios, no glossy Hollywood power move. Just straight-up French indie style. It's almost funny. The open door was in a different country, a whole new language, wild. And when I first heard that, my jaw hit the floor. France? Seriously? Not that French cinema isn't cool, but damn, that's a sharp left turn. But Depp showed up and did the work. He learned the lines, jumped into a new culture, zero safety net. And guess what? The movie gets a prime slot, opening night at Cannes. That's not a throwaway thing. The Cannes opener is the movie everyone in the world checks out first. I mean, come on, critics from every time zone, legendary directors, and the press all packed into one theater. What happened next? Insane. 7-minute standing ovation. Not polite golf claps. Actual, tireless applause from the snobbiest moviegoers on this planet. That is not a courtesy. That's a statement. Depp was standing there, and you could see on his face. He knew what it meant. He knew what everybody did to him, and that room wanted him to know there's life beyond LA security gates. That video was everywhere in hours. Even people who weren't watching the trial felt something shift inside. You can't fake that kind of emotional punch. You just can't. Imagine sitting in that audience, knowing his story, seeing him standing there at the end of credits. 7 minutes of clapping. That's not reflex, that's a choice, over and over, like, nah, I'm still here, he's still here. Try standing up for that long. Your legs burn. You have to actually want it. And here's what blows my mind about all of it. Hollywood thinks it's the world, but it's just one room. Actually, Depp lost access to that room, but discovered whole new worlds nobody clued him in about. France gave him the shot when America wouldn't. It's more than a comeback. It's a giant middle finger to anyone who thought playing it safe was more important than actual talent. The most random part for me? He came back in a historical drama, a weird little period film, not a superhero sequel. No box office guarantees. Just a director who believed he was perfect for one very specific role and took a big risk by putting him in it. Let's not downplay that. May Wen could have tanked her own project, but she went there. The Cannes Festival staff knew it, too, but still gave them top billing. That's gutsy. And then you blink and Depp's announcing he's directing a movie about Amedeo Modigliani. Not just acting, but captaining the whole ship. Not crawling back into Hollywood's fold. No, he's building his own damn projects now. Thank you very much. How many times do you see that? Most folks in his shoes beg and plead for their old job back. Depp just ignored the bouncers, walked around back, and set up his own gig in Paris. The standing ovation, the directing news, that's nobody's version of desperate. That's someone who found self-worth without the studio stamp of approval. I keep wondering what would have happened if he just played along, waited for the executives to forgive. Did the right press tours try to look palatable again? Would we have even gotten this moment? No way. Hollywood's comeback plan would have been timid, safe, and let's be honest, totally boring. So, if you watched all this and felt something during that moment, yeah, hit that like, this isn't just a comeback. It's a total rewrite. If you want more of these kind of stories, stuff that actually digs past the surface and cares why something matters, stick around. The industry sees this. Executives are reading the room, doing the math, greenlighting projects they wouldn't have touched last year, because Depp's story isn't finished. The wildest chapters haven't even dropped yet, and they're happening far away from LA, written by the guy who stopped caring about studio permission ages ago and just kept moving forward. That, honestly, is my favorite part of the entire insane journey.